You built the business you once dreamed of, the one that was supposed to give you freedom, time, money, impact. But somewhere along the way, that dream turned into a cage. The money's good, but you've quietly hit a plateau. No matter what you try, new offers, new hires, new strategies, you end up back at the same revenue year after year. You're working harder, but you're not getting further. And the freedom? You thought more growth would mean more space. But the bigger your business gets, the more it pulls on you. Your calendar's packed, your days are full, and the freedom you expected feels further away, not closer. Or maybe you've got the revenue, you've got the results, you've got the time, but it still doesn't feel right. You thought your business would have more influence, that you'd feel a stronger sense of purpose or contribution. But instead, you're left wondering why success doesn't feel successful. You've hit that plateau that all business owners hit. It's like climbing the same mountain over and over. You reach the top, but the same view every single time. And it stops feeling worth the climb. If that sounds familiar, you don't need more grind, you don't need another hack, you don't need a bigger goal. You need your business to finally give you what you built it for. More money, more freedom, and more impact. Hi, I'm Dave McGee, and I've spent the last 20 years helping small business owners break through their plateaus and make more money, create more freedom, and have a greater impact. People like Mark, who used to run his business by pushing harder, staying later, and feeling guilty if he slowed down. But now he runs it with a calm focus and steady progress, growing faster, but with peace instead of pressure. And he's on pace to double his business in just 3 years. Or Lisa, who lived at the extremes in her business, all in or all out, total discipline or total burnout. She thought consistency meant perfection. Now she anchors her momentum in simple, repeatable wins. Her confidence is steady and her energy's back, and her business grew 25% this year. Or Brooke, whose calendar used to run her life, meetings, commitments, zero space to think. We rebuilt her calendar around her strengths and vision. Now she leads her business instead of reacting to it. And she's reclaimed nearly 10 hours a week to focus on what matters most to her. Over the last 2 decades, I've seen too many business owners burn out chasing the next goal, only to feel emptier at the top. They hit the milestones they thought that would make them happy, the revenue, the team, the house, the lifestyle. But underneath it all, they were running on fumes. And I get it, because I've been there too. Years ago, I realized that success without alignment is just another form of stuck. I was leading a team of high performers who were winning on paper, but losing their spark, their energy, and their sense of purpose. And one day it hit me. We don't need more achievement. We need more congruence. That moment became the turning point. From that insight came my mission to help leaders and business owners build businesses that serve their life instead of consuming it, to help them make more money, create more freedom, and have a greater impact, but to do it in a way that feels meaningful, sustainable, and real. Because when your business aligns with who you really are, success stops being a grind and it starts to become flow. Here's the part that nobody talks about. You've been given the wrong playbook. The business world is full of bad medicine disguised as good advice. Set bigger goals, manage your time, work harder and be more disciplined. Just follow the plan. Set bigger goals sounds inspiring, right? But for most high performers, it just builds the habit of falling short. And when you do hit your goals, you're left with the feeling, is that all there is? Manage your time? That advice keeps people fighting their own wiring and rhythm. You can't manage time. You need to use it in a way that works for you instead of against you. Your calendar is not the problem. Or maybe you've been coached to work harder and be more disciplined. That's the cruelest of all. That's the approach that built the cage you find yourself in now. It's not about working harder. It's about working in a way that aligns with your natural gifts, abilities, and motivation. And here's my personal favorite. Just follow the plan. But nobody stops to ask, whose plan? Because the plan that worked for someone else was never designed for you. The real problem isn't effort, it's alignment. You've simply outgrown the playbook that got you here, likely someone else's playbook to begin with. And if you keep running it, it'll keep running you. I believe everyone's born with a purpose and the gifts to fulfill it. You were put on this planet for a purpose and endowed with the natural gifts and abilities to fulfill that purpose. The issue isn't potential, it's congruence. Most small business owners don't need to add more goals, more systems, more grind. They need to align what they do with who they really are. Because when how you work matches who you are, everything changes. Decisions get easier. Energy comes back. Growth feels natural again. That's the work I do. I help business owners and leaders rediscover the rhythm that fits them, not the one the internet says they should follow. And together, we're building something bigger than just businesses. We're building a community of purpose-driven business owners who live lives that matter and lift up others to do the same. Because real success isn't about doing more. It's about becoming more aligned. The problem isn't money. It's not time. It's not even strategy or skill. The real problem is alignment. You can't outwork misalignment. You can't delegate your way out of it. You can't hack your way around it, because when what you're building isn't aligned with who you are, every win feels like work and every step forward feels heavier than it should. That's why more hustle, more systems, and more delegation only cause more frustration. What you really need isn't just a better business. You need a breakthrough business, one that delivers more money, more freedom, and more impact by design. A business that runs in rhythm with your strengths, your values, and your vision. That's where everything changes. The distinction is aligned, not automatic, because when you're aligned, results become inevitable. So let's talk about what everybody really wants. A breakthrough business, represented here on this model by the triangle. A breakthrough business is one that gives you the money you deserve, the freedom you've earned, and the impact you're here to make. Because that's really what you want out of your business, isn't it? It's a business that runs smoothly, scales sustainably, and actually feels good to lead. That's the dream. More money, more freedom, more impact by design. But most business owners never get there. Not because they don't care, not because they're not capable, but because they get stuck in one of three traps. Trap number one is no spark, no strategy. This is where you've lost your sense of direction. The fire that used to drive you feels dim. You're busy, but not inspired. Every day is filled with motion, but not momentum. Trap number two, playing small. You've hit that level of success, but deep down you know you're operating below your potential. You've traded vision for comfort. You're managing instead of leading. And trap three is a business by Band-Aid. You're reacting instead of designing, patching problems, stacking systems, and hoping it'll all add up to freedom someday. But it never does. Those are the patterns that keep good businesses stuck. And the truth is, if you're in one of them, it's not your fault. You just need a new playbook, one built for where you're going, not where you've been. If you lack the spark or strategy, you need to build momentum. That's the first shift. Reigniting your motivation and rebuilding your momentum. Not the kind that burns hot for a week, but the kind that carries you all year. Because when you're clear on where you're going, excited about what you're building, and confident in how you'll get there, everything else starts to flow. It starts with your next level vision. Not just a revenue goal or an exit strategy, but a clear picture of the life and business that would really, truly be worth it to you. The vision that pulls you forward, not just pushes you harder. A worthy ideal. Once that's clear, we need to create achievable targets. Most business owners set goals they never really hit or hit goals that don't matter. Targets are different. They're designed to stretch you, not stress you. They focus your energy, build confidence, and create momentum. And finally, we break those targets into exciting missions. Short, focused sprints that turn vision into progress. Each mission gives you a clear win. Something meaningful you can measure and celebrate. So you stay in motion, stay confident, and stay engaged. That's how we rebuild motivation, not through pressure, but through progress. Because when your actions are aligned with your vision, momentum becomes automatic. A perfect example of this is Lisa. When I first started working with Lisa, she was exhausted. Not just physically, but emotionally. She'd built a successful business, but every win came with a crash. Her drive was still there, but her joy was gone. The problem wasn't effort. She was one of the hardest workers I'd ever met. The problem was rhythm. She was stuck in a constant cycle of all in or off the rails, total intensity followed by total burnout. At first, she wasn't even sure coaching could help. She told me, Dave, I already know what to do. I just can't seem to stay consistent. But that was the real opportunity. Together, we did 3 simple things. First, we redefined her next level vision, not around achievement, but alignment. What would her business look like if it actually fueled her energy instead of draining it? Even though she had no idea how she would get there, we created a worthy ideal. Second, we set achievable targets. Targets are different than goals. Targets are meant to be hit. If you miss it, no big deal, shoot again. When you hit it, great, set a new one. Essentially, we took the pressure off hitting KPIs and goals. Third, we created exciting missions. We structured a series of targets together in missions designed to be fun, a bit challenging, and designed to turn her vision into visible progress every few weeks. Within months, the shift was obvious. Her business was growing, but now she was growing with it. Her schedule was lighter, confidence steadier, and her energy consistent. Today, she runs her business with a calm focus and joy. She's not chasing motivation anymore, she's living it. The second shift is about mindset, not motivation or positivity, but the operating system that drives how you think, decide, and lead. When you know you're capable of more, you need to shift from playing small to leading boldly. When you do, you'll start making more confident decisions and gain more control over your business and your time. Every new level of business requires a new level of thinking. When you built your business, you were the doer, the driver, the one holding it all together. But the habits that helped you grow can't be the same ones that help you scale. If you want freedom, impact, and peace, you have to upgrade the system behind the strategy. Step 1 to doing that, challenge your limits. This is where you challenge the old beliefs that capped your growth, the I have to do it all mindset, or the slowing down means falling behind belief. We replace those truths with truths that actually fit the next stage of your success. Step 2 is choosing your power. Most business owners spend years trying to lead like someone else, copying gurus, trends, or playbooks that don't really match their wiring. We help you identify your authentic leadership style, the way you create clarity, motivate others, and drive progress. And we install new, more empowering beliefs around that. And the final step, step 3, lead from your strengths. Once you've upgraded your beliefs and clarified your style, you start operating from a higher code. You stop tolerating what drains you and double down on what aligns you with your vision and your values. That's how leaders go from reactive to intentional, from managing chaos to creating culture, from pressure to power. Allison is a perfect example of that. When I first met Allison, she was torn, stuck between safety of her current business and the pull of something bigger she just couldn't quite name. On paper, everything looked great, solid revenues, loyal clients, but she felt boxed in. Her biggest objection to coaching? She said, Dave, I think I just need to push harder. Once I get through this season, it'll all settle down. But it never really does it? So we started challenging her beliefs, identifying the beliefs that were keeping her clinging to safety. Then we helped her choose more empowering beliefs to make decisions based on vision and her intuition, not fear. And finally, we raised her standard, aligning her schedule, her clients, and her commitments with the future she actually wanted to create. The result? She stopped clinging to what was safe and started building what she really wanted to build. Today, she's not just running a business, she's leading a movement, confident, calm, and fully in control of the direction she's headed. The third shift is all about rhythm, creating a business that runs on flow, not friction. I call it the flow first framework. This area we need to systemize flow. You'll get back 10 hours a week while actually getting more done with less effort. Because most business owners are trapped in reactive rhythm, long hours, packed calendars, no margin for thought. They're producing but not creating. Flow first flips that. Step 1, we need to design your work styles. Every high performer needs a rhythm of push and pause. We identify when you're at your best, your natural energy cycles, and build your business around that. Long enough to get results, short enough to keep you excited. Step 2, we want to focus on high-value actions. You don't need more hours, you need fewer, better actions that create exponential results. We streamline your priorities and eliminate the busy work that drains you. And step 3, We simplify and scale. We turn your wins into repeatable processes so your business can scale without stealing your time, your energy, or your sanity. That's how you shift from doing everything to owning something that works without you. And James is a perfect example of that. When I first started working with James, his calendar owned him. From the moment he woke up, he was in meetings, he had commitments, constant context switching. He was leading a growing team, but he had no space left to lead himself. His problem wasn't productivity, it was pace. He thought slowing down would mean losing momentum, and honestly, he was skeptical when I told him that creating space would actually help him grow faster. But he was willing to test it. So we did 3 things. First, we mapped his work cycle, identifying when and how he did his best work, and restructuring his weeks around that peak energy. Second, we clarified his high-value actions, cutting the noise and focusing his time on what truly moved his business forward. And third, we installed systems for freedom, automations, delegation rhythms, and meeting cadences that protected his focus. Within weeks, he started feeling lighter. Within months, his business was running smoother than ever, and he finally had time to create, think, and breathe again. Today, James leads his business with intention. His schedule follows him, not the other way around. He's not just working less, he's leading better. You've seen what's possible when you realign success from the inside out. Mark, once driven by pressure, now leading with calm focus and steady growth. Lisa, from all or nothing to consistent energy and renewed confidence. Allison, no longer chasing safety, but leading with freedom and vision alignment. And James, from calendar chaos to clarity, control, and flow. 4 different stories, 4 different paths, but one shared truth. Every transformation proves that flow and fulfillment can scale together, that you can grow your business without losing yourself, that more money, more freedom, and more impact don't have to come at the expense of meaning. They can all rise together when you build your business by design. If you've built a successful business that doesn't quite feel like success anymore, maybe it's time to build something that actually fits you. If you've been nodding along thinking, that's me, I'm ready for that kind of breakthrough, here's your next step. Consider joining me and the top business owners I coach in my one-to-one coaching partnership. I've put a link to all the information in the description below. And when you're ready to see if the one-to-one coaching partnership is right for you, schedule a free Momentum Accelerator coaching session. In under 60 minutes, we'll clarify your vision so you know exactly what you're building next. We'll uncover your biggest constraint, the real bottleneck that's holding you back. We'll map your strategy, the smartest and simplest way forward, and we'll create your personal action plan so you walk away ready to move. Even if we never work together beyond that session, you'll leave with clarity, a plan, and momentum. Because I do these sessions personally, I only open a handful each week. So, if you're ready to build a business that finally gives you more money, more freedom, and more impact by design, click the link below, schedule your Momentum Accelerator session, and let's make your next level inevitable. Remember, success isn't about doing more. It's about building something that finally fits. Here's to playing a bigger game.